My sister publicly announced that I was no longer part of this family because I wouldn't pay her husband's debts. Everyone applauded. An hour later, the restaurant manager walked over and said, "Your card declined." They all turned to me, and I simply stood up and walked out. I should have known something was wrong when my sister Rachel insisted we all meet at Romano's, the most expensive Italian place in town, the one with the $40 pasta and $200 bottles of wine. "Family dinner," she texted. "Really important. Please come." I arrived to find the entire family already seated. Mom, Dad, Rachel, her husband Derek, my Aunt Linda, Uncle Frank, even my cousins I hadn't seen in years. They'd pushed 3 tables together and ordered appetizers that cost more than my weekly grocery bill. "There he is," Derek announced as I walked up, his voice dripping with false cheer. "The successful one." I sat down at the only empty chair, tucked at the end like an afterthought. Everyone was already drinking, already laughing too loud. The kind of forced energy that comes right before an ambush. Dinner started normally enough. Small talk, passed bread, the usual family gossip. Then dessert arrived, and Rachel stood up. She tapped her wine glass with a fork until everyone went quiet. "I have something to say," she began, her voice shaking just enough to sound emotional. "We're all here tonight because family is supposed to support each other." My stomach dropped. "Derek and I have been going through a really hard time financially," she continued, glancing at him. "Medical bills, unexpected expenses. We've tried everything, and we asked my brother for help. Just a loan." Everyone turned to look at me. "But he said no." Rachel's voice cracked. "He said no to his own family." The table erupted in murmurs. Aunt Linda shook her head. My mother's lips pressed into a thin line. "That's not exactly," I started. $20,000, Derek interrupted, his voice hard. "That's what we needed," and he refused. Said it wasn't his problem. What he didn't mention was that this was the 3rd time they'd asked me for money in 2 years. Or that the previous $15,000 I'd loaned them had never been repaid. Or that their medical bills were actually Derek's gambling debts that I'd discovered through a mutual friend. "I can't keep bailing you out," I said quietly. "You never paid back the last—" "See?" Rachel's voice rose. "He's keeping score. That's not what family does." "Rachel, that's not fair," I tried again. She turned to face everyone, tears now streaming down her face. "I didn't want to do this, but I think it needs to be said." She took a dramatic breath. "You're no longer part of this family. If you can't be there when we need you most, then you're not really family at all." The silence was deafening. Then Derek started clapping. Slow at first, then faster. Aunt Linda joined in, then my cousins, then my own parents, the entire table applauding my exile like it was some kind of victory. I sat there frozen, watching my family celebrate cutting me out of their lives because I wouldn't fund Derek's poker habit. "I think that's for the best," my mother said quietly, not meeting my eyes. I stood to leave, but Rachel held up her hand. "Stay for dinner at least. Don't make a scene." So I sat back down, numb, while they laughed and ordered more drinks and acted like nothing had happened, like they hadn't just disowned me between the tiramisu and espresso. An hour later, the manager approached with the bill folder, that apologetic smile servers get when there's a problem. "I'm sorry," he said, looking at Derek. "Your card was declined. Do you have another form of payment?" The table went silent. Derek's face flushed red. "That's impossible. Try it again." The manager shifted uncomfortably. "I ran it 3 times, sir." Everyone turned to Rachel. She fumbled through her purse, pulled out her card. The manager disappeared, then returned shaking his head. Also declined. One by one, they went through every card at the table. Mom's, Dad's, Aunt Linda's. All declined or maxed out. The bill was $1,847, with the wine Derek had insisted everyone order. Then slowly, every single person turned to look at me. My mother's voice was small. "Honey, could you just—" I stood up, pushed my chair in carefully, and looked at each of them. At the people who just applauded my removal from the family. "I'm sorry," I see.